Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and Sports Grid Radio Network. Proud to be a part of Sports Grid and welcome all the new listeners that are Sports Grid's regulars. Now you can listen to Let's Talk Hookup every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 9 a.m. on Sports Grid Radio Network. We're pretty stoked about that.
Listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And soon to come, Sirius Radio, too. So we'll have that soon, too. So that'll be exciting. Pete Gray here, along with Corey Sandin. Great to have Corey in the studio. And Ron Lane, Fast Lane Kayaks. What appropriate guest for the unofficial end of summer, but the unofficial beginning of summer for a lot of us,
too. For the San Diegans, it's the beginning of summer.
Yeah, for everybody in Southern California, right?
So true.
Ron sells fun, and that's what he does.
Not only does he sell fun, the whole family's the leader of fun.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
We've just been blessed kooks. It's just so fun to be down at the marina all these years. I mean, 45 years we've had that store
45
down there.
years.
Debbie and I. And
wow.
And it's like we just keep lucking out.
Yeah.
And I just had a funny thought while we're at break, and when we put the Mirage Drive back in the seat, I go, that little thing has kept me in business the last 25 years.
And so it deserves a place of honor in the world headquarters.
Right? World headquarters.
Right?
It's got its own seat.
Yeah, it's got its own seat. Hey, stand by on the Catch Report. We're going to be talking to Catch Report, but you had a phone call, the first one in 33 years of Let's Talk Hookup, live on the air.
Sometimes I feel like
it was the El Presidente of Salty Crew, Jared Lane, your son.
Yep.
And tell us what he said. You kind of going back and forth. Tell the story.
Let's set this up a little bit. I heard a story, and I turned to Corey when I first got here, and I said, you know how whenever I go fishing with you or Pete, I get these stories about guys or things, and I heard a story from Jared and Hayden up at the Crow's Nest, which is upstairs.
Hayden's your other son.
Yep, and
Salty Crew headquarters right above your store.
Right, and they've got their buddy Dwayne Diego right out back, and and some guys from Tatty Lures walk in, and they all started talking about surface irons and stuff, and it kind of amazes me. The more you know about these stories, the more it makes fishing kind of fun. So they were telling a story about, I forget the guy's name, but the Teddy Lure owner and them were sitting up there with Jared, and they're saying that this skipper from this boat right here.
So the owner, I think, is Joey.
Joey, that's it.
Yeah.
Joey paints all the lures.
Shimizu, or
Shimizu, yeah.
I could be wrong.
So
forgive me.
He's telling a story about these skippers that would go out, taking boats out, and they'd take all these old lures that are the paint are just eaten off of them. And what's the only can of spray paint on an old fishing boat?
Probably
green.
In the engine room.
In the engine room.
Engine room green.
And it's called Detroit Diesel Alpine Green.
Yeah.
So they'd spray these lures up. And it was working. It was working really good. And the story to me is like, oh, these guys use that green, which is a kind of a takeoff of that mint green. And that's why it's working. It's green. So the Salty Crew guys and Dwayne made a suggestion that, hey, you put a yo-yo iron in it and you put a surface iron in it, you paint them green, and that's what they're going to sell. They're going to have a limited edition.
And that's what this is. Show it on the TV.
The limited edition.
Yeah, it's a box.
Next week
Set. They're introducing it next week.
And one of them says sink, and one of them says swim.
Ah, great. Which is the Salty Crew logo.
Sink or swim.
How cool and you get a hat, and you get a Salty Crew hat too.
So the winner today of the coin flip wins this package and
the hat.
Wow.
How cool is that?
Cool.
Oh, so that's the flip of the coin.
That's the flip of the coin.
Along with the $100.
Yeah.
So they get that and the $100 shopping spree.
Coin,
Are you kidding me? Yeah. And then the consolation prize is the $100 shopping spree for the other one. Yeah. So everybody wins.
I got to tell you, the stories that I've heard from you guys about so and so, the driver of a boat, or it always the lures that they use and all that makes fishing more fun for me. And this story kind of cracked me up.
And so written in the book here, is mentioned for this Detroit color is Merritt McRae. And
he was kind of the one that painted.
From the original Seahawk out of Santa Barbara, I believe, right? Santa Barbara?
Yeah, Santa Barbara.
Well, legendary.
So this book caught my eye, too. And I guess you can get this book at Taddy Lures. It's like a coffee table book.
Yeah.
All I did was open it up, and you should have seen Corey. He was like foaming on it.
Yeah.
Look at these.
Cool. and so will you be selling these at Fastlane?
No.
No. These are not the book, but the Salty
it's
Crew?
only online.
Oh, it's only online.
Yeah, you have to. And so next week you should be checking the Salty Crew online presence and if they introduce
limited edition,
limited edition.
So, that's cool. So hey, it's time. We got to talk about the catch report here because we got some great guys standing by.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. And Catch Report today, sponsored by Norsk Lithium Batteries. They're designed for marine use. Norsk Lithium features prismatic cells for extreme durability, solid connections, longevity, and reliability. The Norsk Guardian Advanced Battery Management System allows you to monitor the health and charging status by using the app on your phone. Norsk also makes a complete line of kayak and electric batteries, too. They're pretty amazing. They weigh less than 3 pounds. Make an investment in the best for your boat with Norsk Lithium. Check norsklithium.com or go see the Trolling Motor Doctor or Angler's Main for Norsk Lithium batteries. I'm so looking forward to putting Norsk Lithium on the Steiger craft because I've got battery issues and we need Norsk Lithium, and it's going to happen here real soon.
That Seakeeper stayed up the whole time last time. I was just loving that thing.
For sure. Well, hey, we're going to start aboard the Tribute with Captain Mike on the line. Good morning, Mike.
Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going? Yeah, no, we're first day of our 2.5 day at the annual Pelagic sponsored trip, and off to a good start. A little choppy here, but we got a dozen bluefin on the boat here this morning, up to about 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good bluefin fishing here lately. One day fishing, thankfully, we don't have a whole lot of them in the books, but still a little bit on the slow side. I'm guessing that's really going to change, but our day and a half fishing has been phenomenal. Easy bluefin limits on our last trip with 25 big yellowtail to go with it, so it's been some pretty good fishing out here.
And you're on the banks, right? And that takes a day and a half to get out there?
It's a secret spot. There's only 17 other boats anchored up next to me.
Yeah, turn on the AA, I guess you'll find it.
Yeah, well, we've ran out here before on one-day trips. It's not that kind of fishing right now. It is very good fishing. Not exactly early morning stuff, but it's a really nice, great fish. You get out here and it's fun, anchor fishing, get a chance to pick away at them and get a chance at some of these bigger ones. And there's been some bigger nighttime fish as well. We'll be doing that here tonight.
Nice. So how much fun is it to put the anchor down and catch fly line fish on an anchored boat, right?
Almost old school.
Yeah, that's fun.
Well, it is. It's one of those things, anchoring up at Guadalupe or Laos or whatever else. A lot of guys, unless you're out here, don't ever experience it on shorter trips where it's a whole different style of fishing, especially right now we got the current kind of going up into the breeze, which, it's going to weed out the guys who can really pay attention to their bait. And, that belly hook bait on 40 pound is the go-to so far for the morning. But you're not just drifting along with the line peeling off your reel. You guys know how this is. It's a whole different world.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if somebody wants to climb aboard the Tribute, do you have any spots open?
We don't have a whole lot of availability here this month. Most of it's chartered. Our Tuesday night trip is full. I think the 10th, there's a few day and a half that do have room. And I would imagine we're still going to see some really good one-day fishing coming up, or, all October, November, even December for the last several years, like we've talked about. Guys are freaking out. It's the beginning of September almost, and there's nothing to really catch within 50 or 60 miles. I guarantee that's going to change over the next couple of months.
I like what you're speaking, Mike.
Yeah, it sounds great. Well, if somebody wants to fish aboard the Tribute, like as soon as they can, how do we find you?
Seaforth Landing, 619-224-3383. You can book through seaforthlanding.com, tributesportfishing.com. We do have some pictures up from this morning and from our trip as well. But there's some real nice bluefin that we've already set up here for the morning. So take a look at our social media, Tribute Sport Fishing, Instagram, Facebook, and like I said, there's only a few open party spots available for us here throughout the month. So I'd jump on or even start looking into October. It's going to keep going.
Yeah, that sounds, and of course that's always the best weather month, September, October for us too. So good time to be aboard the Tribute. And what's unbelievable too, thanks Elon Musk, that Starlink thing is unbelievable. It's hard to believe that you're standing on the bridge of the Tribute in the middle of the ocean, 100 miles offshore.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep away from my second captain who's snoring up here because he didn't want to sleep downstairs. I walk out on the back deck, and there's two guys pulling on bluefin up here in the bow, which is pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for that live report,
yes,
and we'll talk to you real soon. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike. All right. Continue on.
Are we going to go with Rosie?
Captain Mark Wish,
there it
our
is,
private boater buddy. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, Pete and Corey and Ron. All those stories, man. Stories are great.
Huh?
That was fun listening to all that. So, we got that famous Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer, which actually I love it because the crowds are thinning out. I can go surf fishing again in peace and quiet. The weather's great. Fish everywhere are biting. So just gotta love this end of summer stuff. But starting close to home, just for fun here for you small boat guys that like to fish bass, man. It's been really good. It's not the big schools of spawn and sand bass. Seems like those days are over. But it's fishing big calicos on structure, which is like one of my favorite things in the world to do. The horseshoe's been pretty good. The water did cool down a little bit up there, got a little off color, so that bite there is a little slower. But the inside spots off Huntington Beach, and I put all those numbers in my book between 2 and 20 fathoms, but when I drive by Huntington and I don't see a single boat on the water out there, I'm thinking, what in the hell's the matter with these guys? There's so much structure and so much good fishing in there. But from that area there inside Huntington down to the closure line off Laguna, the water's 70 and it's clean, and them bass are biting, man. And you don't need to get started early. A lot of times you're better off going out when the clouds burn off and a little breeze comes up. Those calicos like that, and just anchor up on some structure and fly line a sardine and hold on, man. It's just so much fun. Really good fishing. A lot of big ones here this year. Nothing meaningful from Nick or Santa Barbara Island. And Catalina, it's kind of status quo in terms of the kelp line fishing. But just the heads up, guys, this weekend's going to be brutal in terms of boat traffic over there. You try to fish the kelp lines for any of that inshore stuff, a lot of patience is going to be required because there's going to be a lot of people on the water doing stuff different than what you're trying to do. But just offshore, this is where it gets really interesting. The marlin fishing around the island the last few weeks, it's been the best in many, many years. I talked to one of my friends yesterday who's really got his finger on the pulse, and I can't use the words that he used to describe the fishing, but let's just say it's been good and a lot of fish. Kind of stretched out from the ridge below the island there, that 152, 277, up the front side, and in really shallow water. In fact, one of the sport boats anchored up by the isthmus hooked a marlin on the iron the other day.
Oh, wow.
Imagine how that went there. But, the Avalon Bank's been good, and then up toward the 286, there's been fish all through that area. It's been a few bait fish, less than normal, but mostly jig fish. And, man, with that volume of fish around, it's really looking good for the upcoming tournament season. And then as to that bluefin, now you just heard from Mike about what's going out there at the bank, so don't need to talk about that. And then that big fish zone is still the 499 Snail, 711, Osborne, that sector up there, and there's quite a bit of big ones. They're not up every day. Some days they take a little time off. They usually don't come up till later on in the afternoon. So, again, you don't need to get started early. But no matter where you are, guys, you got to keep your eyes open. Sunday and Monday, week ago, it was solid foamers of big ones, 5 miles off Rocky Point off Palace Birdies. It was just insane. One of our customers had 5 fish up there in an afternoon, just a few miles off the beach. So they're around. And as a bonus, for we're seeing some of that good grade yellowfin. Maybe it's that stuff that's been living down here on a ranger bank, finally getting bored hanging out down there. But some of these dolphin schools up here have a little bit of that really nice grade yellowfin on them, and starting to bite a little bit. One of my customers coming home the other day came inside the west stand and ran over a foamer that stayed up forever. They wouldn't bite, but really good grade yellowfin there. The main area has been kind of just a few miles off Dana, across the 14, and Avalon Bank has been where a lot of it's been. But yeah, I've seen some pictures of some really nice ones, guys. So that's just a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah, right? It could happen. And, of course, Danny and the boys at Fish Dope will have the information for you. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now. Lowercase, no space. Hookup Now is your $30 code. And how do we find you, Mark?
Well, Pete, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And phone number at the store is 714-840-4262. The website is PacificEdgeTackle.com. And we got a holiday weekend, beautiful weather, biting fish. It's time to go fishing, guys.
I like it. It's definitely good times. You got me perked up with the bass fishing and the yellowfin, and look forward to Fish Dope and finding out the latest news. Thank you, Mark.
He's greasing up his popper right now.
Sharpening my hooks. I'm ready, Mark.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fall, man. It's looking really good. Take care, everybody. Go fishing.
Thanks, Mark.
What a great report. And going to Rosie from Cedro Sport Fishing. Good morning, Rosie.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Three of my favorite guys sitting right there on the radio right now.
Rosie.
Coach Rosie.
So I do have to say that the Lane family is definitely the fun family. Our kids grew up with the Lane kids. We've known them, 25-plus years. Talk about a good family right there. Blessing to have them as friends.
For sure.
Okay, we got a few standouts this week that we just have to mention. We got our first 10-pound calico bass this week.
You perked up.
Corey, I was thinking of you. And this gentleman, actually his name is Ron, has been fishing with us for probably 12 years and has been searching for that elusive 10-pounder and finally got it this last week. Wow. As far as our yellowtail go, we're finding out that if you want to catch a yellowtail over 50 pounds, you need to be using a bass rod with a swim bait up in Punta Norte in about 10 feet of water, because I guess that's where the 50-pounders hang out.
Wow.
So it's been absolutely crazy. These guys are obviously, going for calico bass, pinto bass, whatever, close in on those little boiler rocks up there at Punta Norte, and all of a sudden a 50-pounder comes swimming through. So it's been absolutely unbelievable. This season for us, once again, it's just like no other season we have ever seen in my last 9 years now. And the bite is always on. It is never clicked off this season. It is always on. We still, unfortunately, we had a couple of openings, had some unfortunate circumstances. We had a couple of people that had to bow out on a September 13th trip. So if you want to go catch a 10-pound calico bass and maybe a 50-pound yellowtail, you guys need to give me a call. Phone number for me is 619-772-7570. Call me.
All right, Rosie Flowers, appreciate that, from Cedro Sport Fishing, the place to go.
My favorite
place. Going to Cedros Island. Gotta love it.
It's my favorite place.
And you know what one more thing that I absolutely love is when I am sitting here watching you guys live and I see our logo come across the screen. I think that is absolutely fabulous.
Good-looking
Thank
logo,
you.
Man. Yeah,
it's a good-looking logo.
It
is.
Thanks, Rosie. Nice to hear from you, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
You got it, guys. Have a great day.
All right, thanks.
All right, the Catch Report is sponsored by the Fish Pros and Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get a premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system for booking your processing in your local or your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest and more same-day capacity and the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today.
For sure. Phones are packing up, but you can still get through. 213-432-1090. Open right now. Texts are flowing through. Calls are flowing through. But get this. The batted bonus now is this sink or swim package. In addition to a $100 gift card to go on a shopping spree at Fastlane Kayaks. And then the loser of the coin flip still wins a $100 shopping spree. Hey, Troy in Fontana writes, and this is good information, so listen to this. We were talking about with Doug the history of sport fishing. Fantastic TV show. It's really, really great. I'm on episode 5 now, and it's just so much great information there, and Michael did such a good job. It said that we mentioned that you cannot download it. He says that's not true. If you download the History of Sport Fishing app on your phone and then save the download on your phone for a period of 30 days. So if you're flying or something like that on a plane or you're traveling, you can download the History of Sport Fishing app and then download it on your phone for 30 days. You can take it along a long-range trip with you on your iPhone or your iPad.
You can be
off the grid, but do buy the History of Sport. It's $49.95, and it's the 12 episodes of the most epic experience that you'll ever see in sport fishing.
But I heard him also talking about the upgraded version where you get the takes,
for an extra $30 you get the
interviews.
It's I think 10 or 15 of the best of Inside Sport Fishing. Yeah, all the episodes that were the most popular Inside Sport Fishing. So,
but I heard him say too there were interviews with Steve Loomis and stuff that didn't make it in.
That could be. So thehistoryofsportfishing.com. Download the app or download it on your computer and then take it with you. Thanks, Troy, for that information. One note I also want to make too is that we have two-day Liberty trips. The one in September is already sold out, but we do have space available on the one in October, October 14th through 16. Aboard the Liberty, 2-day limited load, 25 people on the Liberty. Incredible. On a 2-day, and it includes the food. It's super reasonable price. So go to fishermanslanding.com and book that 2-day Let's Talk Hookup. We're going to have a ton of great giveaways from AFCO and Shimano, and we'll just have a great stuff from everybody. Gets Gamakatsu hooks on it. A lot of good giveaways on that trip too. So jump aboard that. Yeah, on the Liberty 2-day in October 14th through 16.
Like Mark said,
I don't think you can miss.
Like Mark said, it might be the right time.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into the phones, Corey.
Let's do it. How about Mike calling from Del Mar? Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup. We having difficulties with the phones?
Well, let's try another call.
Well, how about Doug, the one and only from Montebello? Good morning, Doug.
Hi, I was wondering about those quagga mussels. Are they still a factor for freshwater fishing?
Quagga mussels.
Quagga mussels, yeah.
Still a deal.
That was supposed to be the end and the absolute disaster to our freshwater fishing.
Yeah.
It started with freighters in the Great Lakes and was spreading to the west, and it was going to be the end of the freshwater fishery. And the biggest pain in the rear with them is they clog up the systems for freshwater intakes and overflows and that kind of thing with the city system. But let me tell you, it took El Capitan Lake here in San Diego from a difficult fishery, fun fishery. It has turned it into clean water. The mussels have cleaned the water and given food to all the types of bluegills in there, which have exploded the bass fishery. It is.
I'll be darned.
It is the best.
Come on.
Seriously, it's the best fishery it's been in 50 years.
And you think it's because of the quagga mussels?
100%.
Well, they're
really
100%.
Yeah, they're pumping in water and pumping it out. Filtering.
There are bluegill and red ear and all these different types of gills that are monsters. And the mussels are anywhere from little tiny, like pinhead size, all the way to like bigger than a quarter.
Yeah.
So there's food. The The bluegill have exploded. The bass fishing has exploded. The water's clean.
Really?
It's changed the fishery entirely for the better.
But yet,
that's fun.
They're still an invasive species.
Pete, us humans are an invasive species.
Yeah, that's true. Great, that's true. But there's still a lot of states, like you go to other states and they have very strict inspection, or other lakes that don't have quagga mussels, very strict inspection policies.
Pete,
do they still do that at?
That's funny. The striper and her surf are invasive species.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
The bonefish in the bay. My God, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
we're dying.
We're going to go catch them.
Yeah, all right.
We're going to do our duty.
So what you're saying, embrace the quagga mussel. According to Corey.
I'm just telling you what's happening.
All right. That's
it's funny.
It's a fact of life.
God has a sense of humor.
It's a fact of life.
The facts are the facts.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Steve from Escondido says, things happen, and what do you use to fix an inflatable that when you pop a hole in it? I found the best products are unfortunately illegal in California. Isn't that the truth, right?
Wait, everything's illegal in California.
Yeah.
No, what we use to patch them is and I don't buy a big bottle of it. I buy a little teeny bottle because the stuff goes bad before you need it again. So just get a little bottle, go on Amazon. HH66 is the best adhesive for that patching material. And another trick we use is we put it under pressure while patching it. You got to clean the area really well. Use rubbing alcohol, clean the area. We sand the patches a little bit to get a bond, or a mechanical bond they call it, and then we clean it again with alcohol, and then just once you put the glue on either side, let it dry for a couple minutes, and then you put it down. You put it under pressure, and that.
How do you put it under pressure?
We actually use C-clamps with blocks on either side that are padded, and particularly if
on an inflatable.
Yeah, and particularly if it's near the seam.
Yeah.
Then that foam piece that we have, it does. It'll push it down under those seam areas, and you'll actually see the seam much better. It's not smooth and you really compress that down, and that's the way to do it. We put it under load for at least 12 hours, and it's easy.
And it works.
Yeah. It's really easy.
All right. Good advice, for sure. Hey, let's jump back on the phones, Corey.
Let's do it. How about Ralph? Ralph's calling from Lemon Grove.
Hey, good day to you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
wonderful show. My question to Ron is, I see a lot of guys out there in kayaks in Mission Bay with these 8-foot rods, and I know they're too big. My question to Ron is, what is his go-to rig?
Well, okay, I fish lots of different ways on the kayaks. And the newest way I'm learning, and man, I'm a kook at it, is fly fishing. And I just absolutely love going up to the Sierras with Pete, and we were fly fishing on I-9s and I-11s. And
so awesome!
It was really fun. So those are really long rods, and you got to watch going under bushes around the edges of the lake. But the other one, my favorite thing to do on a kayak is catch a surface iron yellowtail.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're sitting on a kayak and you hook into one and you put that rod tip to the bow,
sleigh ride,
you've got to have at least a 7-foot rod because you can't reach around the tip of the kayak as easy. So
what you're recommending is a 7-foot rod.
Yeah, or a little bigger.
Yeah. So an 8-foot rod is not out of the question.
No, it's not.
Because you think, well, you don't need a big rod because you're not casting very far because you're so mobile on a kayak. But to get that's a good point. To get around the kayak, around the front.
So when you have a Pro Angler 14,
rod,
it's going to be a little different than a sport or a smaller boat. Getting around that tip, and I got to tell you,
it's kind of like getting around the motor on my Steiger, right? It's like need a longer rod.
Yeah, just a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
But that's a really great question, and in the early years ago, before I had a MasterCard.
Back in the day,
I would use that Torium. That was a great kayak reel.
They're bulletproof.
Yeah, for a kayak, it's great. And I hear guys go in and they go, "Oh, I got a Torium. Like it's not the latest greatest." I go, "For a kayak, it pretty much is pretty good.
It works pretty well."
And that Spectra on the reel is a must because you're going to be usually around kelp, and you'll want a kelp cutter rig. And I use a pretty short top shot of that. God, that Seaguar Gold is amazing.
Seaguar Gold is the best. It's so tough.
Love it. I love it.
It's so
thin.
tough.
It's got a little bit different. So if you're used to like Seaguar Blue, it's a little bit softer, a little bit thicker.
Easier to tie, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, no, not really. Gold is just a little bit more abrasion resistance, a harder coating, but smaller in diameter.
Absolutely.
That's the key. It's a good one.
It gets bit. Seaguar Gold's the only thing to use.
So back to his question. The Outback is one of my favorite boats. The reel I'm using now, because I'm lucky, is that the lever drag one with my Talica 10. Oh my goodness, that is the best reel ever made.
How many fish have you caught on that Talica 10?
Gobs and gobs and gobs.
Up the big ones too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big. Well, yeah. The biggest one was that 100-pound tuna.
Yeah.
Golly.
On a Talica 10.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, it was, and I was coached really well by that skipper on the
Shogun.
No, it was the other boat I went on. Gosh, those guys were good. No, you sent me on a trip with.
Anyway.
Yeah. But I got to tell you.
One of the good ones.
One of the good boats.
Got to tell you that.
On the Royal Star.
I don't think so.
No?
It was a Star.
It was a Star.
It was the Royal Star.
Yeah. So that guy, he stayed right with me. I was the only one hooked up, and I had to get this fish on a Talica 10. It was great.
That guy's going to knock you over the head for not remembering him. Yeah, we're going to be right back.
Hey, adrenaline was flowing, right? You know.
On the Let's Talk Hookup app, and what are we at here? The Sports Grid Radio Network. Forgive me, so many things have changed, but we're going to be right back.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost. But not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear, literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me, book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
Hey, this is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. We have always been the leader with all-inclusive fishing trips to Cedros Island. We now have 2 lodges to choose from, and both sit on the cliff's edge with relaxing ocean views and gorgeous morning sunrises. With direct flights departing to the CBX in San Diego, we are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. Come check out the yellowtail and calico bass capital in the world. Nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. Call me at 619-772-7570 or check us out at cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
This is Pete, and I hear it all the time. That Jim and Mary at Poway Valley Collision are amazing. I took my car to Poway Valley Collision, mentioned Let's Talk Hookup, and they gave us VIP treatment, fixed our car, and even gave us a special price. Believe me when I say Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. At some point, your car will need a body repair, and I'm confident in saying it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. Our listeners can save hundreds of dollars on your next car or truck repair. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. All you do is call Jim, Mary, or any of their team members, and they do all the rest. No hassles, just top-notch work and VIP treatment. When you take your car or truck to Poway Valley Collision, the job and experience will be top-notch. Get it fixed right at Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup and all this new stuff going on here, Pete. I'm trying to learn it all, man.
If you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, I'm going to pop off the very quiet landing right now and go back into the studio here.
Yeah.
But it's naturally the first day we have the outside camera. It's about as the Independent. You can see the Independence in the background.
And the Royal Star, I think, left to
Royal Stars went to go fuel, and when they come back in, we'll pop that back on so you can see that. But very quiet day. I think it's because it's Labor Day Saturday.
Yeah.
Labor Day Saturday. But anyway, Pete Gray here with Corey Sandin and Ron Lane. Don't forget the different ways that you can listen to Let's Talk Hookup now. And I have to continue to review this because we've got so many new things. Of course, you can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
And that's all from this
And that's all from the camera right there.
Yeah.
And
give it a shot.
So you can watch that. Yep. Thanks for watching. And, of course, listen there. You can listen to the recordings on Facebook and YouTube Live of previous shows. So that's a way to listen. You can listen on the Let's Talk Hookup app, live stream on the app, as well as our archives are all on the app. You can listen to us on 1090 AM. And we thank the Basharas for keeping us on 1090 AM. And then, of course, now we are on the Sports Grid Radio, the Sports Grid Radio Network. So welcome everybody from the Sports Grid Radio Network. We're very proud. Around the world. It's a huge network of sports guys, and they do, of course, football is big.
So this
right
does
now.
Make it the world headquarters.
It's the world headquarters.
This truly
so
is the world
we're really thrilled to be a part of that Sports Grid Radio Network. They're super good people, and so when Let's Talk Hookup is not on the air, you can hear Sports Grid on the Let's Talk Hookup app 7/24.
How cool!
Which is great. So you just hit the listen live, and you can tune into Sports Grid Radio. But it's always better to just download the Sports Grid app if you want to too, because you can also listen to Let's Talk Hookup on the Sports Grid app also. So when we're live, along with the other stuff.
What are you? Fortune?
Are you seeing somebody come in?
Fortune, I think.
All right, you seeing somebody come in?
Pacific Dawn.
Okay,
there it is.
They're backing in.
Yeah,
they're coming in. All right, well you'll see them on the camera here. But in the meantime, you have a great text, huh?
I actually don't. Pete,
okay,
sorry.
I do.
I know. I've been looking through them.
Yeah, Isaac in San Diego, and I'll bring it up here. He says from San Diego has a question for Ron. What's some of the advice you can give me for fishing La Jolla on the kayak for the first time? How should I prep for it?
Oh, God, that's a great question. And I talk about this daily with clients. I go, you're going to need a game clip.
Yeah, game clips are what? You should have brought one.
Yeah, I should have.
What is a game clip?
Well, it's just one of those big clothespins.
It's a monster safety pin.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, whenever you do catch that first yellowtail, and you have the right gear to do it, and the gear is key. And let's say you're slow trolling a mackerel. Don't be afraid, if you're not having success, to change the lengths of the distance of the troll. Because there's a great story. There's a kid that just could never catch one. And one of the better fishermen went by him one day and said, hey, how you doing? And he's trolling 2 mackerel behind his kayak. He's not good. I never catch one. And he says, why don't you let those back a little further? If it's not working what you're doing, why don't you let them back a little bit? He caught 3 that day.
How about that? I mean, just a simple change.
Little tips, Little
changes.
Talk to some of those guys that you know are good. And you can tell because they aren't going to talk. They're going to ask the question, and then they'll answer it. But when you do catch that one, whether it's a service iron or a yo-yo iron or that trolled mackerel,
right?
You're so tempted on that troller to engage that reel, and you gotta wait. You gotta wait till that yellowtail's gonna bust it in the head and just take off running with it, and that's when the zing starts. That's the second most fun thing that you'll hear on a kayak.
Like we're coming back from Let's Talk Hookup.
Right.
And that's when you'll hear guys, well, I wait for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 1,000. You got to wait till swallow that, so that hook, which a lot of guys use J hooks, circle hooks.
But wait a minute, though. I'm gonna beg the difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the size of the fish.
Oh, yeah.
Calico fishing, absolutely. I agree with that. Barracuda fish and stuff like that. But a yellowtail or a tuna, they're sucking that thing in.
The big ones, you bet.
And that thing is deep in their throat in 3 seconds.
Okay.
Corey, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, for the one you want, I guess. But, but there's nothing wrong with waiting 5 seconds.
doesn't hurt to wait a little longer.
No.
So if whatever you're doing didn't work, don't do the same thing.
I have a huge tip for first-time kayakers going out of the surf. Make sure when you're coming back in, everything is tied down and secured.
Yes.
Leash it or lose it.
Leash it or lose it. Yeah.
Leash it or lose it.
That's my one tip.
Because kayaks do not surf. Period.
They don't surf well at all.
Well, everything surfs. It's just what attitude is the boat when it's coming in.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as a
upside
tip
down,
for La Jolla, I think that's the key. Take your mackerel catchers. Go catch some mackerel. Make sure you have a live well on your boat.
Right.
Get as many live mackerel and then the slow troll. Then that's the beauty of having the Mirage Drive is you're automatically on slow
trolling.
Yeah.
And then when you see surface iron, what do? Do you pull that troller up?
No.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Good questions.
What if they both go off?
Yeah, well,
mackerel.
Then you're in trouble.
Sounds like a great problem.
That's a good problem.
Exactly. Exactly. But the adrenaline is flowing.
And I think it's just I'll tell you, it's just a matter, Isaac, of time on the water. The more time you spend out there, but the most important thing is be cautious when you're launching through the surf, depending on how big the surf is. Of course, there's been no surf, so it's been really easy. Be cautious when you're coming in, tie everything down,
leash it or lose it.
And bring a mackerel catcher. Watch where the guys are catching mackerel. Usually off the pier is a good spot, and then go find the fish.
Yeah. And the trick to coming in with the surf is not to surf it. It's to come in on the back side of the wave.
Oh, yeah.
And speed is there, right? You need it, or,
you need to jam in.
But here's the other thing. Know when to anchor or stop so you don't go surfing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's part of the keys, too.
So there's another part about the game clip that we got to talk about.
Yeah.
Ron loves this game clip. Look at that fast lane kayak right
there. It is.
So when you gaff that fish and you get it next to the boat, you're so tempted to bring it up on the boat. Don't do it.
Clip it off.
Put the clip on first. Yeah. Don't take the gaff out. Don't take the hook out. Gaff it.
Secure it.
And so if it comes off the gaff and you've put your rod down, what do you need to do to your rod?
Oh, boy.
You need to open.
You better secure it.
You better open that bail up, and you better put your clicker on. And then I've actually caught a yellowtail twice because it came off the gaff and took off.
Oh, and you had to fight it back in.
And because I did that. So if you don't open the bail, and
you better hope you're breaking it off, because otherwise your rod and reel is going over the side.
Or you're going over the side.
Something.
Okay, so one caveat on that: clipping the game fish and keeping the yellowtail.
Let me guess where you're going. Sea lions.
Sea lions. And if there is a sea lion around, you get that thing on the boat as fast as you can, because they will follow you right into the boat.
If you come down to the store, you'll see a picture of me with a big yellowtail with the whole stomach eaten out of it, and I went on 2 sleigh rides with that fish. Got that lure back, and then I made this biggest mistake I ever made. I'm up on the north end of Cedros Island, big giant yellowtail, pull him up on my lap and go, what did I do that for? I'm sitting there, 600-pound seal goes running around with you and sleigh riding. He's going to want his lunch, and I'm sitting there holding it. I'm going, what have I done? Anyway, I got my lure back, and the panga came up. It was great.
It all worked out.
Yeah, but I got to tell you got to be careful with those seals and clipping them and cleaning them, because they're
aggressive.
You're in their zone.
I have something on the side to add all this. And I thought about this when I was up at Queen Charlotte. Did not see one sea lion.
No kidding.
Seriously, not one
Sharks?
sea lion. We saw
salmon sharks?
We saw sharks. We thought we saw an orca, and it might be the reason. We need more orcas around here.
Yeah, there was. I was watching the news last night. There was a pod of orcas right on the 9. Yeah, a big pod.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Right where SeaWorld's releasing the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's hope. We can only hope, Corey.
Right.
Anyway, let's jump into the phones.
We got Mike from Del Mar back. Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you joining us.
Hope you can hear me this time. Last time I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me.
We got you loud and clear.
Oh, good morning. Hey, so, Corey knows me. Michael Seawald, the artist, travels the world and fishes mostly bass fishing, lake, freshwater. But I was losing you on the internet, and that's when I usually listen to you when I'm working out, the next day. I love the fact it's all recorded. Modern technology is what a blessing, so I don't miss the show. I just don't listen live too often. So I was calling to say, are you on a hard line? Are you on a radio station anymore? And then a little bit later, after I was waiting on hold, you guys mentioned that you are on, I believe, 1090.
That's right. We're still on 1090. Yeah, there's so many different ways to watch and listen to Let's Talk Hookup here. I do have to constantly review the different things, and then we're added in now to the Sports Grid Radio Network. So that's pretty cool, huh?
Well, that's all I was going to say is, are you available to listen live? And I'm glad that you are. And I love listening to your program. I don't fish in the ocean as much as I'd like to. I like to go out on San Diego, the Booger, and I did a trade out. He got a nice piece of art. I got a bunch of trips out there, so it was a win-win. I don't have any money, but a lot of art.
That's cool.
Looking to do that again with another.
I've seen a lot of your art includes the ocean, though, which is cool.
It does. Oh, no, it does. Yeah, I just shot Maui again. A month after the fire, I was over there working for a month, making a bunch of new seascapes. Yeah, so
how do we find your art?
My website. Well, thank you for. Yeah, it's on my website. www. And my last name Seawald. It's like SeaWorld, but a little different. SeeWald, Seawald.com, and people want to see art from 70 trips around the world now, so a lot of art to look at. Russia, Cuba, Argentina, you name it. I've shot it.
That's good stuff, man. It
sounds
so
wonderful.
Popular, it's dinging off the hook, man. You better get ready.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Seawald.com.
Yeah,
all right.
Super neat art.
We'll check that out for sure. Hey, at the World Headquarters here, right behind us, you can see, if you're looking at the live cam, you can see the Royal Star just pulled in.
Oh, okay.
So they just pulled into the dock, getting ready to load. I don't know how many days they're. Yeah, you don't. That's.
I was looking at searcher on that side.
But if you're looking at our live stream on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, you'll see the Royal Star. But we'll get back into the studio now because I have a great text here from Rich in Los Alamitos. He says, wonderful show today. Can you tell me the name of the author of the book you mentioned of the history of Tatty Lures? It sounds like an interesting read. I'd like to add it to my library.
When I was up at the Crow's Nest at Salty Crew, this was just sitting there. And naturally, I love coffee table books.
Yeah.
I open it up, and I'll just randomly open it up, and look, the colors just catch your eye.
Beautiful.
I mean, and the history of Tatty Lures, this is amazing. It was Scott Manson, I guess, is the author.
He debuted that at, I believe, the Orange County...
the PCS show.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where Jared got it.
That's where it was.
It was just sitting up at
Show the back of the book, because Tori will be really like that one. Show it on the camera. Hey, Ron, point it at the camera. There you go. Yeah, look at that. That's a big calico.
Oh, my God.
How big do you think that is, Corey?
I don't know. 7, 8? Somewhere in there.
On a Tatty lure.
Yeah, so cool.
Pretty cool. But I know if you look it up, the history of Tatty lures on the web, you'll probably be able to buy it online somewhere.
I think one of the boys just, they get on their phones and they Google it up or they do whatever they do, and it shows it for sale in many different places. So I think it's easy to find, but it's definitely a keeper.
You know what's amazing? There's so many things in our sport fishing world, and the surface iron and jigs have been like the epicenter of everything that's really happened, from fishing on the 16, 18-day trips to local, fishing Redondo, fishing like Merritt McRae's in there, Santa Barbara on the Seahawk, and his Calico Legend stories from up there, and
Detroit,
Trancas, and all that area up there.
Detroit Diesel Green.
Detroit Diesel Green.
But here's what I think about. You mentioned Detroit Diesel and everything going on in there. I think about the Caterpillar Yellow, man. The Caterpillar Yellow surface iron. Another.
Well, they had a picture of Benny Florentino
with a Caterpillar yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it had some other, and it was his model, and they show all the models of all the different jigs in here.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting.
The coolest thing is somebody's going to win this today.
That's pretty cool.
That's really super cool.
Yeah, for sure. Could be you. Let's jump back on the phones and see.
Let's do it. How about Dennis? Dennis calling from Norwalk. Good morning, Dennis.
Yes, good morning. I'd just like to know about the halibut fishing.
Ooh.
Is it the time of year for the halibut? Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, definitely.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something. What? You're from the Norwalk area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great halibut fishing up that way, down this way, and like Mark Wish has talked about, all spring and into the summer, fishing Catalina Island. They were getting them really good in 30 feet of water or less, and that's a fishery that's really rebounded over the last 25 years or so, and the fact that we're allowed 5 of them as a limit. I mean,
are there any quagga mussels in there?
Right, I know, exactly.
You got me thinking about that quagga mussel thing. I was like, really?
Clean the water?
Wow.
Isn't that the craziest story?
It's a crazy story.
It's the best fishery ever.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you for the call, Dan.
Everybody loves to eat halibut.
Yeah,
right.
That's one of my
favorites. It's been a good year for halibut.
That's what
a lot
I've heard.
of big ones around.
My last couple surf sessions. I mean, you've been 3 one day and 5 the next. But that was a month ago. That was before
legal fish.
Illegals.
Yeah.
Yes,
wow.
up to 12 pounds.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
One of my favorites.
You have a good text?
I think I do.
Yeah.
It might be one you already read, though.
Well, I have a good one if you don't. So.
Yeah, it is. It's the same one you just read.
Yeah. So I have one from Bob and IB, and it says, great show, although the words inflatable, gaff, and treble hooks don't seem to make sense when put together with an inflatable, right? What's the redundancy safety on inflatable?
A good life jacket. Okay. And a good wearable life jacket. I do like those ones that you pull and they inflate because they're really small.
Hobie makes a really nice one.
Yeah,
it's not cumbersome, but if you hit the water, you can inflate it.
Right. So when it all goes bad. Now, in all honesty, I have poked holes in many of those inflatables.
And it's not that hard.
No,
it's not that hard. It's not that
to,
easy either.
Well, not hard to do?
No, I mean, if you stick a gaff in it, of course. If you stick a treble hook in it, but
we know somebody who stuck a gaff in it.
Yeah. Dana
He happened to call the show today.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, but it's not that big a deal.
They're easy to mend.
Yeah.
And once that patch is there, that's not a compromised area. It's actually stronger.
Right. And there was a gentleman that was down fishing in Baja.
Yeah.
And he was catching those big grouper.
Yeah.
And tons of them.
Yeah. It can happen. But hey, I got to interrupt you because we have to take a break. And when we come back, more Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Sports Grid Radio Network.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hard-working crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence, delivers the top quality, comfort, and fishability you look for in a long-range boat. Veteran captains Mark Bizzano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Once you go on the Independence, you'll be back. Call Independence Sports Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check independencesportfishing.com.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealers now and make it your best summer yet. Amazing offers and great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, featuring gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Only at your San Diego County Ford dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, this has been it went so fast. We were running
so fast. I might add to Ford Labor Day Sell-a-thon is on now.
It's happening
So go
now.
to your San Diego County Ford dealers and flip the coin, Ron. Let's see.
Is that a caller? Okay, so the caller gets the extra bonus that you're looking at right here.
You pick it up at Fastlane.
That's Dana and Ocean Beach. And so both of you, Dana and Ocean Beach for the caller, and texter would be Daryl in San Diego. Both of you, $100 certificate for Salty Crew gear.
And then Dana gets the bonus there. Hey, Ron, how do we find you?
We're right there at Dana Landing Marina across from SeaWorld. You can call us at 619-222-0766. And don't forget to come down and do a demo ride. Just try one.
Yeah.
You'll end up buying one.
You will, for sure. And thanks, Ron, for being here. Thanks for being such a great supporter. Let's Talk Hookup, the whole entire Lane family. Fantastic. And thanks to Chris manning the boards. Thanks to Adam for manning the app. And thanks to all the people at Sports Grid for doing everything that they do. And, of course, 1090 AM and the Facebook and Live and all that stuff. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Rockeyed Rick will be back in here. Jim Hendricks, trailer boat expert, will be here. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning right back here. And thanks, Corey, for being here today. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow morning right back here on the Sports Grid Radio Network and the Let's Talk Hookup app.